Hi, target individuals. My name is Joe, and I found out a new neat trick that you probably already knew, but in case you didn't, if you're using any like efficient media viewing devices such as Roku, I've got a Roku, and it was only $25. And like every time I like log in, it's like all these gang stalkers keep on like controlling what I'm gonna see. And I highly recommend like going navigating to settings and then like resetting the entire app every time you do it, because then you can finally control what you want to see. Otherwise, these gang stalkers are gonna be all over you. And that was the first thing that I thought that is successful. Like it works really well. Like at that point, no one can hurt you. And I hope this is helpful because you've also helped me. Like God deserves to know what He wants and cares about, and I think this is a form of that. And I hope no, it's not hope, it's faith. And there were a couple other things too, like if you're bored and you want to do something really cool and have fun, please feel free to check out Magic the Gathering online or offline too. It's both online and offline. And there was this really cool card where it's like we could be immortal as long as we control at least one other creature in our disposal, and we got to defend 14 ring wraiths. Well, that was the form. That was the other form. Like we can't take we can take damage as long as we control that, as long as it's still there, but we also can't lose life. Like the two concepts are independent of each other. But this would be amazing. This could make everything incredible, and maybe there's a few, because those are the only two flaws. And my purpose is backed by the United States government. Like, cause I worked for the United States government in 2013, but they were like, no, you don't belong here, man. Despite how like qualified you are, because you probably were, and that's in the past, so I gotta let this go. And then like I was looking at, so now I'm heavily targeted, and it's quite hard to understand. I'm like, how am I getting stabbed as a result of whatever I think about? Like, there's nobody at my residence or anything like that in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I looked to whistleblowers like Karen and Catherine. They're both like doctors and CIA agents. And they were all talking about like dog pools with full water. Like, I think the only defense that if a targeted individual has is that, like copper, aluminum, and it comes in the form of like a fully like protected box. And the difficult parts are like affording it, because copper is quite expensive, or you can probably pull it off with what she said, like at 7 to 12 layers, like with separated with dielectrics. And feel free to look up that term. Basically, it's just like a box within a box within a box, like a hungry like egg child. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is, because that's what they invented. But it comes in a different form now, like in the name of like magnetic defense. Because what happens, the theory is that the ion cannons from outer space with electromagnetic force, like the speed of light, or cell phone towers anywhere nearby your local area, they will stab you if you aren't worthy of being loved or cared about, and that is absolutely against God's will. So like we gotta live in these metal boxes, and it's kind of difficult to construct too, because like it requires like absolute like sealants. And what can I recommend further? I would highly recommend buying a greenhouse. Like, we're about to grow like plants and stuff like that, but we're actually going to cover it all in metal, like copper windows, and like at least 7 layers of aluminum foil, so we can negate like all these signals that can like stab us in the back and the shoulders, because that's where I'm getting stabbed at, or it's something else too, because I come off as like I have a high blood alcohol content, but this is why I do this, because I don't want this. And like, they're brilliant like detective agents and engineers, and like I'm like slightly behind them, to be fair, in the name of alignment and things like that. So like, we're all tired of getting stabbed and M2K'd and like all these other like secret intelligence agency targeting things, and like none of us deserve this, and like I'm on their side, but I can't quite relate, because I'm not a master or a PhD or like a CIA or a CIA agent or a detective. My name is just Joe from Iowa State, and I'm located like across the world, and but I'm feeling it too, and I want to negate this. Like, we all want to negate this so much, and let Karen and Catherine tell us. And I was wondering why I couldn't find that video. Maybe they shut it down because they don't want me relating either. I'm sorry if I'm wasted. I don't know if anyone in that conference that I watched was wasted either. I don't know if this is legal or not, but it sure seems like everything is in check. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody, and as long as we're defending ourselves in like the name of American freedom and glory, because that's the bald eagle. Like, the bald eagle, it's a felony to like even approach a bald eagle, and there's a very limited amount of them. So why can't we all be bald eagles at the very least? Well, okay, whatever, but yeah, that was probably most likely what I was thinking. But yeah, but if you have like these cheap, like, this is how I defended this. Like, if you want to have a lot of fun and like ignore it, then and like I did that research. I'll already tell you, it's one of the top 10 like cheap devices at like 20, at least at the very most $25, and it has its own remote control. It's a little efficient in the batteries, because like it's constantly pulsing the signal such that it can be detected at your customer's will. And I guess that's not a bad idea. You can still afford that, but like, and yeah, there's like, but like, you have access to like 100,000 apps, or just 1,000 apps, and like the possibilities are unlimited in that. And I don't mind like sharing that too. And I hope the flow of like my speech and my presentation are just fine. They might be a little like off, because my blood alcohol content is probably around 0.2. But I don't have any cars or anything like that. I'm grounded because of the exact same reasons that they are. So I thought that like, hopefully, or faithfully, not hopefully, that we could all end this useless government targeting shit. Otherwise, I gotta like live in an ice box, or like old school stuff, or straight up negate it in a Faraday cage. That's what this metal box is called, and it requires according to Karen, they already know, and they have like a lot of like incredible CIA intelligence stuff. And that's what I gained, and I was just trying to like feedback if necessary. But yeah, there's a definite warfare going on in America, and we don't got it. No one's got no idea about it. Like ion cannons from outer space or from cell phone towers nearby can stab anybody in the back or the eye or anywhere, and like all Americans need to know about this, and like we don't have to be like full of retribution and like cause a civil war. We can just like shut it to the ground and like establish like defense and all this other stuff, and like I know what I'm totally doing too, and like I hope people can understand, but that's all I gotta say really. But if you're bored and like if you want to do stuff, feel free to pick up this card game called Magic the Gathering, and this was one of the cards where it's like, as long as you control a pet, because I adopted a pet, that's the creature that is one of the two requirements that is required to be like shielded, and so we can all be immortal. And I don't know if that's a good idea either, but it sure feels like it, so we don't die. And because I don't know what being dead is like, but yeah, none of us want to die. We just want to go to heaven most likely. But the other requirement is that you can, like, okay, so you can't take damage now, but you also can't lose life. Like the two concepts are inseparable, and a major form of that are 14 ring wraiths, like 14 of these death angels in hell, and because I was a fan of Lord of the Rings, and that was the only thing that were, and they can appear out of nowhere and challenge your intentions and things like that. As long as you can defend both of these things, you're immortal. And I hope immortality is a form of like a utopia and like the way that life should be lived in America. And maybe that's insane, but that's all I gotta say. And hopefully I didn't hurt anybody. But thanks for listening to me. Goodbye.